But let's continue here, because speaking about that respect, speaking about people talking about us the right way and saying things the right way and making sure they're giving us our flowers, somebody I thought who would never speak about Jalen Brunson again, but recently he was caught speaking about Brunson, is Mark Cuban. That's right. Dallas owner, well, part Dallas owner now. And again, somebody who made the decision to not pay Brunson, and the rest was history. And speaking about him, Mark Cuban made some shocking comments on Brunson and his impact for the Knicks, because we already know Mark Cuban talking about Jalen Brunson and him talking about his impact. If he expected it, you know I was all ears. I'm sure you guys were all ears, because you know me, I like to find the haters. I look for the hater alerts. I search for them, and I try to find them. But I'm happy to say, Mark Cuban, actually not a hater. Let's break down the following comments from Cuban and what he said about Jalen Brunson. According to Sports Illustrated, on The Daily Show on Tuesday, the show's host, prominent Knicks fan Jon Stewart, asked Cuban if he had any idea Brunson would become this all-NBA phenomenon, and he responded bluntly, citing Brunson's draft position. According to Cuban, no idea. I mean, he was talented, but he wasn't picked in the second round. If everybody knew, he would have been a top 5 pick. I mean, if you redraft that draft right now, other than Luka, he is a top 3 or 5 pick. But more credit to him, he worked on it. That is the key right there. I can't say anything about Mark Cuban after he says that. He gave him his praise. He didn't say, yeah, I always knew, and lied. He didn't lie. He told us straight. I didn't know. I didn't know Jalen was going to be that good. And if I'm redrafting today, Jalen's going there as a top 3 or top 5 pick. That's giving your flowers. That's making sure you're showing your respect. And that's also saying you have no hard feelings at all. I appreciated those comments. He could have hated in that moment. He could have took that moment and took a shot at the Knicks. The Knicks are a very good team this year. We're one of the best teams in the league. A lot of teams are gunning for us. They do not like us. And Cuban could have been one of those guys that hated on us, but he didn't do that. But I do want to mention a report that you also saw on that slide. According to ESPN's Tim McMahon, he said the following when he was on Knicks Film School. Shout out to John Macri and the great people over there. He said the following. He believes that if Jalen Brunson had stayed in Dallas, there was a high likelihood that the team would have traded him to Brooklyn for Kyrie Irving. So he would have been in New York anyways, but he would have been across the bridge. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that trade happened? If that went down and he was traded to Brooklyn? What that story could look like? I don't even want to think about it. It's a nightmare. I'm so happy that it never happened. And I believe I believe him completely. They would have absolutely gotten Kyrie Irving in one way or another. And Brunson would have been that player they traded to get Kyrie on that team. Dallas would have looked pretty similar. The Knicks, not so much. I am so happy history happened the way it did. And for me, if I saw Mark, if I was saying anything about Mark, the one thing I would say, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for doing everything you did and making the decisions you made to give us the phenom in Jalen Brunson. That's all I would say to him. No hate, all smiles from ear to ear. I would say thank you. I would shake his hand. If I had the money on me, I would buy him a cup of coffee. That's how much I appreciate the fact that we have Jalen Brunson and we didn't have to live through that hell. We didn't have to live through that reality. We are in a very good time to be a Knicks fan. So happy about that. And shout out to Tim McMahon from ESPN for giving us that update about what Dallas would have done if they kept Brunson. But shout out to Cuban for giving us those comments. He wasn't done, though, by the way. Cuban gave us some other comments as well. He stated, during his interview with Jon Stewart, Mark Cuban also touched on the fan reception he receives in New York, given the Mavericks and the Knicks' history. According to Cuban, I like to walk in New York. And just today, walking down the street, a fan said, "Yeah, Cuban, we love you." "It's crazy," Cuban said. "Literally, great basketball fans here, and I get all kinds of love." And then he followed up that by saying, "Yeah, but now it's more thanks for JB, right? But yeah, that's what I get." So according to him, according to Cuban, anytime he talks to Knick fans around New York, or he speaks to any Knick fan at all, they all do the same thing that I was saying to do. They thank him. They appreciate him. They love the fact that we have Jalen Brunson, and that's exactly what he gets thanked for. The fact that he messed up so badly. Didn't pay Jalen Brunson that extension when he could. Tried to use him as trade bait. Failed massively. And then Jalen comes to New York, becomes a superstar, and then takes the biggest discount you've ever seen from a superstar to ever do it, leaving $113 million on the table to give the Knicks flexibility. What did he want to do with Dallas? Leave a lot of money on the table to give them flexibility. This is Jalen. This has always been Jalen. This has never been a surprise. That's why I was about 90% sure Jalen was going to take less and sign with the Knicks, because that's Jalen's character. It's always been his character. He always is that type of guy. That's why he's our captain. That's why he's our leader. And that's why he's going to be one of the people that leads us to a championship. I believe that in my heart. Jalen Brunson is one of those special players. And Mark Cuban just told you, if we were redrafting today, he would be 3 or 5 between that in that year's draft. That's the crazy jump that Brunson has done. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Second round pick. And the guy that drafted him is telling you, if I had to do it all over again, knowing what I know, Brunson is between 3 and 5. And where was Luka? Incredible. Incredible player in Jalen Brunson. Incredible comments from Mark Cuban. No hate to be found. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is why we're here. We have been suffering and disrespected basically my entire life as a Knicks fan. And even now, we get disrespected. But you know what? The disrespect tastes a little bit different, and it's a lot lower. The disrespect sounds like this. Imagine if Troy, Recap as they call me, talked like this. You guys wouldn't watch my show. You guys wouldn't watch this person. You guys wouldn't watch me talking like this. This wouldn't work. You would want me to be as excited and as hyped as you feel about this team. And that's what I give you. That's what Brunson gives you. That's what this team gives you. That's the energy I feel from this team. You gotta love it. I love it too. If you enjoyed these clips from the live show, be sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new episodes or when we go live. Thanks for watching, Knick fans, and until next time, peace.